Hi, I'm Wendy Victor Hess, author of Sweetness Without Sugar, and today we're going to be making a smoothie from page 231 of Sweetness Without Sugar. It's called the Apple Blue Smoothie, and it's full of fruits and vegetables, and I hope you'll enjoy it. So next we're going to put in some romaine lettuce, and I tend to buy, you can buy the big head of lettuce, or I tend to buy 3 in a package, which you can get in a lot of different places, and it focuses more on having just the hearts, and sometimes when you buy the bulk produce of the romaine lettuce, it's just a bigger bundle, which it's all really good for you. So whatever's easier, whatever's more reasonable, whatever's in your budget. And I'll use the top part today. And then we're also going to go ahead and cut our apple in half. And there's no one way to do it, just whatever works for you. I'm using a Vitamix today. You can use any blender that you have. Vitamix I really love if it's in your budget, and if you want to make things other than smoothies, it can make all sorts of things. It's a really high-powered blender, and I like making smoothies in it because I put a lot of roughage and a lot of things in it that need to be ground up, and it really does it for you very easily. So I've already begun by putting the 2 cups of water in, and the other nice thing is it does have a measuring piece right on the Vitamix as well. So I already have 2 cups of filtered water in here. And next we're going to go ahead and add the romaine lettuce, and we're adding a half of a head of romaine, and we're just putting it all right in there. And next we're going to add a half of an organic apple. Next we're going to go ahead and add a 1/4 cup of blueberries. You can look for the non-GMO verified label. So that tells you if there's genetically modified foods in them. And another tip that I think is really helpful is through the Environmental Working Group. They have a website, and they offer a list that they call the Dirty Dozen or the Clean 15. And it highlights the Dirty Dozen are the 12 fruits and vegetables that have the highest amount of pesticides in them. And the Clean 15 are the 15 fruits and vegetables that have the least amount of pesticides in them. So purchasing the Clean 15, even if they're not organic and that more fits with your budget, that's a really safe way to go. So to purchase the ones that are higher in pesticides from the Dirty Dozen list, I do highly recommend, if it's in your budget, to at least spend the extra little bit of money to purchase those, the Dirty Dozen ones, from the organic produce that's available for you. And now we're going to go ahead and add 2 frozen bananas. And what I do for bananas is when they start to get a little bit brown, I go ahead and I peel them and take the peel off, and then I put them in a bag and I put them in the freezer. Now these have been out for a little bit, so they're just a teeny bit more thawed than they usually would be, but you can go ahead and put those in. And then I just keep this back in the freezer, and that way I have some frozen bananas for smoothies or for other recipes that I'm using them for. And when the bananas start to get spots, or you don't like it, or your family doesn't like it as much, instead of wasting them, they're really great for these kinds of frozen smoothies and things. So I highly recommend that. So there's our bananas, and then we're going to go ahead and add our sesame seeds. I'm using just regular sesame seeds. You can use black sesame seeds or different sesame seeds. I've already portioned these out. Now again, if you don't have a higher power blender, you can also use a coffee grinder or something like that to grind up the seeds prior to putting it in. Or if you have people in your family with discerning tastes and they can taste different textures, or it might be kind of seedy or grainy and they don't like that, it's really helpful to have one of these as well. It takes a few seconds, it doesn't take long, but it does add a little bit more time to making the whole process and the whole smoothie. So if you can do it whole, it's nice. And I'm just going to pop those in. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the 2 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds, which similarly, if you don't feel like your blender will blend those up, you can feel free to use the coffee grinder. Otherwise, you can just pop those in and they will get ground up with the smoothie. And they add extra zinc and some protein as well. And the sesame seeds add some extra calcium. And so we're just doing it in lots of different ways, and you can mix and match different ingredients, and amazingly it all comes out tasting really good. So after that, we're going to add some protein powder, And I've already measured this out, and for this one I use the Sun Warrior protein, and it's a vegan raw brown rice protein powder. And I'm using the chocolate flavor today, but they make different flavors. They make vanilla and chocolate and regular. And it lasts a good amount of time. It is more expensive. It's a really high quality, and they've done their research, so I do like this as one of the brands that I recommend. And it tastes really good too. It is sweetened with stevia as well, so that's one of the other reasons that I really like it. And there's a lot of other ones now that have that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the protein powder in. And then there's two more ingredients. One is maca powder, which is an herb from South America, or mostly in South America, and it's an adaptogen, so it works with your body the way you need it to. So if it's not nutritive for you, it's not gonna hurt you, and it won't do anything specific for you. And if it is something that is helpful for you for energy, then it can work with your body in safe ways. And it also has it's got a rich and kind of malty kind of taste to it, and so it adds just a little bit of richness and flavor to the smoothie that might not otherwise be there. But it's really optional if you don't like the taste or you don't like malt. And I'm gonna put in about 1/2 of a tablespoon, which is not a lot in this amount of smoothie as well. So it just gives it a hint of that flavor for you. And there's a lot of different brands out there that you can purchase now. It's very common in different health food stores. So the one that I have is from a company called Natural Zing. But there's lots of other ones that you might be able to find as well. So whichever one that works for you or that you have is great if you like the taste. And they make smaller bags as well, so you can taste it and make sure you like it before you purchase a larger amount as well. So the last ingredient that we have is called lucuma powder, which I actually don't have today with me. So we're not going to use it, but it is a sweetener. It's also an herb, and it's a sweetener that can be used to add a little bit of extra sweetness, and it can be optional, and we're going to make it without today. So I just wanted to mention it because you will see it on page 231 as well with it. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this, and we're going to blend it on up. And I'm going to start in the Vitamix. I'm going to start on low, and then I'm going to increase it from there. So it has a lot of different capabilities, and I can show you that as I'm making it as well. So I'm going to just turn it on low, and it'll start on the bottom, and then it slowly brings it. And I think we're good to go. So I'm going to pour some into a glass for tasting. And then I'm also going to pour some into, I know sometimes for me, and I'm not sure if this would work for you, but I often pour mine if I'm making it in the morning or I'm making it to have with me as a snack later in the afternoon. I often use a mason jar, and I'll pour it into a mason jar and have it as a to-go snack with me. And it's real convenient. And I just found another piece of equipment that I really like. So the mason jars, they either have the narrow heads, which have the smaller tops, or they make the wider mouth ones, which fits this kind of cover. And these little inserts on the inside, they either have a metal, just a plain metal that it'll close it all the way, which you can bring if that works for you. If you're putting it in a bag, that keeps it more secure. If you're having it to have right away, or when you're driving and you have a spot in your car for it, I did just find this product, which really allows you, it has a little sipping mechanism, so you can go ahead and put these on, and this one too. And I'm going to use the smaller one for the bottle that I have with me right now, and just go ahead and put it on, and you can go ahead and have it built-in sip so it doesn't spill when you open up the whole cover. To drink from it. So it's really helpful. And the other thing that I recommend doing with smoothie jars, if it appeals to you, is to make different stickers or different labels that are meaningful for you, and go ahead and put it on your jars. And whatever you feel like having that day, I'm going to add a little bit of extra gratitude to my day because I am really grateful. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on my bottle, and then I'll have it with me all day, and when I'm drinking my smoothie I remember it more. And you can make any labels that are meaningful to you and just enjoy it, and a whole lot of yum. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to try it. Yum. Enjoy.